Season 40, War number 8, and we're up against LVT. This time my team will be Tigra, Pryde and Valkyrie. I've got the full 13 fights this war, so we've got quite a few to go through. I'm on path 5 in section 1, as well as taking the Tigra on the shared fight. Then I'm also taking Nick Fury, Annihilus and Killmonger there. Path 6 in section 2, as well as that Mangog on the shared fight. And then I'm gonna be taking all the left side mini-bosses this time around. Followed by a Gorr boss that I have actually never taken with Tigra before, so that's gonna be a fun one. Starting up, first we have a Korg on the ebb and flow knockdown and right back at it nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. I have the recall masteries on here to speed things up a bit and to give me free healing for Kitty as usual, and the game plan is to play this one a bit slower. I'm not gonna be going for the special 2 nuke, just because I wasn't really feeling confident here at the start of this war. You can go for the special 2 nuke just fine. The health pools in section 1 should allow for that, even with Korg's critical resistance. As long as your special 2 crits a few of the hits, he should go down without any issues. But instead of doing that, I'm just gonna be taking him down with basic attacks, at least for the most part, and once he's low enough, I will be dropping my special 3 to finish him off. At least that is the plan. Now I also, for some reason, don't remove the protection here basically at all. I'm just using basic attacks and keeping my health topped up with the poison debuff from the recall masteries. Every time I get those rock stacks down, I could parry and heavy him, but I'm just not doing that. No idea why, but all it really does is make this fight a lot longer than it needs to be. As for Korg himself, well, with Pryde, he doesn't really do anything. While you're phasing, you won't take any damage from the rock stacks. You won't have to worry about the unstoppable or unblockable, since you can get your openings by simply phasing and being unblockable with the Tigra synergy. So that is not a problem either. The only real issue here is the fact that this fight takes a bit. Now he's down to 50%, I went ahead and knocked him down, phased and threw my special 3, hoping it would be enough. It wasn't, but since I still have the phase up as well as the passive fury from ebb and flow, I just stand still, let Korg hit into me, and the phasing damage is enough to take him down the rest of the way. A very easy fight and should have been a lot faster than it was, but I got him down and I'm still at full HP. Then we have a Pryde on the ebb and flow knockdown and heavy hitter nodes, and I'm taking this fight with my Pryde. This time around the game plan is to just go for the special 2 nuke, because Pryde's health pool is small and that is all you really need to do here. Now Pryde, without someone who can counter the prowesses by inflicting cowardice, can be a bit annoying to fight against. But all you need to do to remove the prowesses and make sure she doesn't keep phasing all the time is to simply bait her special once and block a hit of it. As long as even one hit makes contact, she consumes all of her prowess and she won't be able to phase until she gets 3 more. So doing that makes the fight very easy and she goes down with single special 2, no issues there. Next up we have a Tigra on the ebb and flow knockdown and right back at it nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. The game plan here is to once again nuke the fight down with a single special 2, and to do that I just simply need to build up some prowess by landing intercepts, parrying, landing crits, all of that, and then just building up power to a special 2, knocking the opponent down with a heavy attack to remove the protection, and then just drop in that special 2. Now in this fight I do struggle a bit with keeping my prowesses up by accidentally phasing a bunch of hits here and there. So I only had 10 going into the special 2, but with a few lucky crits at the end, it was just enough damage to finish the fight off. Even if she would have survived that one, it would have taken max a hit or two before she went down, so no real risks there. Next up we have a Nick Fury on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Shock, as well as Insult to Injury and Aggression Prowess nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Kitty Pryde. Now I do have all the Odin pre-fights here, as well as a White Magneto pre-fight, and the main use here for the Odin pre-fights is the shock resistance. Now it's not necessary, but it allows me to keep hitting him even during the shock phase, without any real risks. Now I do still get the shock debuffs, so that means I can fail my parries due to the Insult to Injury node, so I do need to keep an eye on that. Other than that, this fight is not a difficult one at all. Kitty Pryde is immune to Incinerate, so that's not a problem, and the shocks won't be doing any damage even while I'm not phasing. I'm just healing up from them with the Willpower Mastery. Now this fight is gonna take a bit longer because I had to remove my recoil masteries. I didn't want to have the poison debuff on myself constantly to reduce my defensive ability accuracy, because it can make the start of the fight a bit more annoying. Since having the debuff means that my parry can fail, and I can fail to gain prowess by parrying, I decided that it would be the safer bet to not have them on for this fight. I do also have a Tigra fight right after this, so that's another reason why I took the recoil masteries off here and not after this one. Now you can definitely take this fight even if you have the recoil masteries on, and it will be a lot faster, but I just decided to go the safe route here. The fight is gonna take a bit, and I'm not even using specials here, just to keep my prowess, to make sure I can always face when I need to. That aggression prowess can get out of hand, and if it does, you wanna make sure you will be able to avoid any damage from the special ones, like we see here. I simply just eat it all into my face. I won't take any damage from it. I get the Disorient debuff on me, which just heals me up of any chip damage I may have taken beforehand in the fight. And that's about it. Whenever I fight Nick Fury, I usually tend to bait the special 2s instead, because the animation is faster, it doesn't push you back, and it's just easier to deal with and less specials to bait. Now that he was low enough, I went for my special 3, hoping it would finish him off. It didn't, but he was below 5 tactical charges at the end, so I just stood there and let the phasing damage finish him off. Fight went down very easily, took a bit longer than I wanted it to, but I finished with full HP. Then we have an Annihilus on the Scared Stiff node, and I'm taking this fight with Tigra. Now, Annihilus can be a bit scary to fight against. You just need to make sure you get a Neutralize up as soon as possible, so you can avoid any of the buffs he gets, mainly the Unstoppable. As long as you have the Neutralize up, you can block hits just fine, without worrying about him triggering the Unstoppable when you dash back, because the Neutralize will just prevent the Unstoppable from activating. To start this fight, I did use an advanced power boost to start with a bar of power so I can get to my special 2 faster. I did get to it there pretty quickly without any issues, but the damage was quite a bit lower than I hoped it would be. So now that Annihilus is at his special 2, instead of allowing him to use it, I just hold my block, bait heavies instead, and drop a couple special 1s to finish him off. I haven't practiced the spacing for the special 2, so I just decided that I'd rather just take some block damage there instead of going for it, because I didn't want to mess it up. You can definitely cause it to miss, but I just didn't feel comfortable doing it. Next up we have a Killmonger on the Power Snack and 1 Too Many Hits nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Kitty Pryde. And I did throw on my recoil masteries for these next few Kitty fights to make them a lot faster and easier. Now I did mess this up already by starting the fight with a parry instead of baiting a heavy attack, and because of that I gave Killmonger power before triggering the reverberation, and that meant that I took a bunch of damage there simply from hitting him. So usually against Killmonger it's better to start the fight off by baiting a heavy attack instead, but well, it is what it is. At worst it's gonna cost me a potion. Now that I have my prowesses all built up and I can be fully unblockable while phasing, I'm just gonna be taking this guy down with basic attacks only. For the most part I will be going for medium light combos, especially when the reverberation is up, to avoid any and all damage and to make sure that I'm fully unblockable, so that I won't actually trigger the counter punches he gets from the special one. This fight is going down very quickly. I could just phase and throw my special 3 here to finish it off, but I wanted to heal up a bit, so instead of doing that I just continue with medium light combos and healing up from willpower due to the poison and power sting debuffs. Fight went down pretty easily without any real issues, apart from the very start of the fight. I'd say that was a good Killmonger fight. Next up we have a War Machine on the prowess build up unblockable and superior specials nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. The game plan here is to only bait his special 2s and to never allow him to use a special 1. The issue with the special 1, well, on top of it hitting very hard with the prowess from the node, is the fact that the rupture debuffs hurt and the suppression debuffs also remove 1 prowess each. At least that is how his description says. But apparently he's bugged right now, and instead of only removing 1 prowess per bullet or per suppression debuff, he removes all prowesses. So yeah, that was very nice to find out here. But that being said, the special 2 itself is very easy to dex, and even if I do get clipped by it, I do have Odin's protection up, so I would only lose a maximum of 15% of my health from eating that special. But right here, I hold my block, he decides to throw the special 1, and by reflex I dash back and eat the whole thing. I was taken down very quickly from the rupture debuffs, so I went for a pretty risky intercept there to get enough prowess to trigger my phasing to avoid most of the rupture damage. It worked out, but if I missed the intercept, I would have gotten comboed. That on top of the rupture debuffs, I probably would be dead right now. Lucky that didn't happen, and now I'm dropping my special 3, hoping it will finish him off, but it doesn't, and this guy is a lot tankier than I thought he would be, and now I just try to finish the fight off with the phasing damage. He didn't hit me enough, so that wasn't enough either, and I had to bait another special 2, go for a parry, and then go from there. Now that fight could have gone a lot better, but it also could have gone a lot worse. I definitely could have died there if I missed the intercept, so I'm very glad I didn't. Next up we have a Scorpion on the prowess build up unblockable and hard knock life nodes. I'm taking this fight with Pryde, and this is a very simple kitty fight. Instead of going for parries at the start to build up prowess and to get my openings, I bait heavy attacks instead to avoid getting those passive disorients from the hard knock life node. That is basically all there is to this fight. If Scorpion evades, I'm gonna be phasing, I will completely avoid the evade counter hit, and any debuffs I may get from the evade counter or by blocking special 1s, well, the debuffs themselves don't do damage, well, not much anyways, and any sting damage I would take by using a special will be completely avoided by being phased, so Pryde basically counters Scorpion completely. This special 3 is more than enough to take this guy down, and I even faced the last hit of his special 2 beforehand to get even more prowess to make sure he stays down. A very simple fight for Kitty, a very easy one to do as well. Nothing too special there, just remember to do only medium light combos while the Scorpion sense is active. Just to make sure you avoid that counter evade. Next up we have a Mangog on the Ebb and Flow Intercept and Mighty Charge nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Pryde. The game plan is to just go for a special 2 nuke to take this guy down, but it doesn't go exactly as I planned it to go. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now to start this fight off, I just go for some parrying, intercepting and all of that to build up my prowess, and I'm only gonna be baiting Mangog special once, because no one wants to deal with that special 2. Every special 1 gives him those hatred charges, and at 10 he's gonna go into his enrage mode, triggering his unstoppable, unblockable, all of that. But with the neutralize from the attacker tactic, he can't do that. And right here is the mistake that I made. Those hatred charges also give him damage reduction, so throwing my special 2 there while he had 10 of them was kind of a waste. What I needed to do is just wait them out, then throw the special 2, and he would have dropped just fine. I lost a little bit of time there, but that's fine. 2 special 2s, 1 minute fight time. The fight went very well. Next up we have a Nova on the power efficiency and missing in action nodes, or rather mini-boss node, and I'm taking this fight with Tigra. I have all 3 Odin pre-fights and all 3 Mr. Fantastic pre-fights here to help me for this fight to deal with his power gain, and for the upcoming Gorr boss fight with the Odin pre-fights. Now the game plan here was to start the fight with an advanced power boost to start with the bar of power, then bait and punish 2 heavy attacks to get to my special 2, throw it and hope for the best. A single special 2 took him down to below 50% and he's ticking down fast with those ruptures. Now he also got the Falter debuff, so his special 1 completely missed me. I gained power from the Huntress sense, I punished it with my heavy attack, and I already got up to another special 2, and that was more than enough to finish him off. I was a little bit scared of that fight before going in, but it turned out to be extremely easy. Next up we have an Apocalypse on the Conflictor miniboss node, and I'm taking this fight with Valkyrie. The game plan here is to only hit into his block to avoid the Conflictor node, and to avoid the prowesses as well as the block penetration node completely, making this fight extremely simple. Now I will be eating some block damage here from Apocalypse's special 1s. I can dex them fully, but since he's a very beefy defender and this is Alliance War, I'm not gonna go for it. I do still dex most of it, just to avoid some of the block damage, but yeah, I'm definitely not comfortable enough dexing the special 1 to do it in a high stakes Alliance War. At this point, this war is extremely close, and a single death is the difference between winning and losing, and I definitely don't want to be the person to die here. Now, before that special 2, I did go for the combo inversion there to start stacking up my bulwarks, because they increase my block proficiency, making it safer to block the special 1s, and it also increases the damage on the special 2, on top of the stun immunity as well. All of these things are extremely nice to have, though it's not necessary. If you're taking a fight on this node, or rather any fight with Valkyrie where you only want to hit the opponent's block, you don't have to worry about inverting your combo at all, but it does help and it's safe to do even with the full-on light whiffs into the air. The way I did it in this fight was simply just finishing my combo into his block before dropping the special 2, which is the usual method people use in these fights. Now 2 minutes into the fight, he's down to 30%, so it is a slower fight, but I would say that Valkyrie is one of the safest options for this one. And yeah, the fight is not too difficult either. As long as the AI is not Terrax level, then yeah, it's gonna go down without any real issues. Just don't eat any special 1s or get comboed and you'll be fine. Then we have a Doctor Doom on the Aspect of Evolution miniboss node, and I'm taking this fight with Valkyrie as well. The game plan here is once again to only hit into his block to kinda play around the Aspect of Evolution node. Only hitting into the opponent's block means that they won't be gaining that much power, and Aspect of Evolution triggers whenever the opponent gains a bar of power. So if you can make them gain less power, they will not be able to stack up too much of that Aspect of Evolution, and then you'll be good. Aspect of Evolution can be a very scary node if it gets out of hand, because it increases basically every stat on the opponent, making them gain more power, making them hit harder, hit through your block harder, and it makes them tankier, among other things as well. So Valkyrie is also an extremely good counter for this node specifically, just for the fact that you can do the fight by only hitting with the block to avoid most of the power gain the opponent would normally have. Now for this fight I do go for the light whiffs into the air to invert my combo, to start stacking up the bulwarks as well, to once again get more damage out of my special 2, because why not? It is safe to do, I have practiced it quite a bit by now, so I'm very comfortable doing it, so I see no reason not to do it, even in Alliance War where there are high stakes on the line. As for this fight, Doom specifically is a pretty annoying guy to take down with Valkyrie, simply because you always have to wait out the aura after the special one. The aura gives Doom a chance to nullify your boss whenever you make contact with him, so he can get rid of your pierces and bulwarks, as well as the dexterity buff, and inflict a shock debuff on you. Now the shock debuff itself doesn't hit that hard, but it allows Doom to Doom slap you, and that stun is passive, so Valkyrie will not be immune to it even with the bulwarks up, as I learned in a previous war this season. Next up we have the final fight of this war, a Gorr boss that I'm gonna be taking with Tigra, and I dueled this guy a lot beforehand. The game plan is to nuke this guy down with a few special 2s, and to get there I just need to start the fight with a clean intercept to get my initial opening, to try to get him to his corner, and the fight would be basically done at that point. But I messed it up, I missed the intercept, which I didn't do a single time in the duels, but I missed it anyways, got hit luckily only a couple times, but that bleed is very strong. The boss node in tier 1 has the Opportunities node that increases the defender's attack by 50% for each buff they have, and Gorr has a lot of them. Without Odin's protection there, I probably would have died because he did crit me, which hit the protection cap. So I got very lucky we actually decided to add that Odin pre-fight on that Nova fight. Originally that wasn't part of the plan, but we had to make a change midway through the war, so I got it on it, and that probably saved this fight, and by extension the whole war, because at this point we are tied 2-2, this is the final fight, and we have them on time. So getting comboed at the start of the fight was very scary. I could have cost us the war right then and there, but luckily Gorr was nice enough to only hit me twice. As for the results, like I just said, we did end up winning the war 2-2 by winning the tiebreaker on fight time. So yeah, thank you Scorp for the Odin pre-fight, it came in very handy.